Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Today, I'm going to be going through my best 11 for the Club World Cup as it stands. The team that I think is just the best team to play in terms of the players, in terms of the position. Also, we're going to be speaking about what Maresca is likely to do as well, because the reality is that I might want something, you might want something, we all want something, but Maresca has his style, his structure, his tactics, and he's not interested in listening to what other people have to say. And that's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, the guy won a Conference League and won the Champions League spot as well, finishing fourth. Even though we can certainly dispute the number of things that you probably still do differently, but he still did it. So respect to him. Before we get into it, we've got to look at the players that we actually have available to us in the squad, and see what we're working with. So this is actually the Club World Cup squad that Chelsea have released. In goal, Robert Sanchez, Jorgensen, Mike Penders, and Gaga Slonina. No Jordi Petrovic. And for that reason, and that reason, in fact, not even that reason only, no Mike Maignan either. It's a very underwhelming selection of goalkeepers. You cannot deny that if we look at what could have happened a couple of days ago and where we are right now in terms of our goalkeeping selections, I think it's pretty poor, to be honest with you. I think it's pretty poor, and I think that although I've got nothing against Jorgensen, Penders, and Slonina, I think Sanchez, I just don't know how he's still a part of our plans. I understand why nobody's trying to buy him, because why would you? But I don't understand why Chelsea are actually persisting that he might have a future at this football club after two poor seasons. He was poor last season and he was poor this season. I really don't get it. Jorgensen was never really given a proper chance, so maybe there is still a way for him to come back into the fold. As for Slonina and Mike Penders, haven't seen enough of them to really judge, although I do think there's a really good chance of Mike Penders featuring in this competition. And out of the four, I would love to see him play. But yeah, not very impressed with our lineup of goalkeepers. We could have at least had Petrovic in there. I think it's a disgrace, to be honest with you, that he's not a part of that squad. And apparently he wanted to be the guaranteed number one, and that's why he hasn't come to America. I mean, are you kidding me? You can't guarantee Petrovic a starting place ahead of Robert Sanchez, Jorgensen, Penders, and Slonina. Are you joking? So, yeah, really poor in terms of the goalkeepers, but still excited to hopefully see Penders play a couple of games, if not maybe Jorgensen. In terms of the defense, we've got Cucurella, Tosin, Adebayo, Badiashile, Colwell, Sarr, the new signing from Strasbourg, Chalobah coming to America, which is good to see. James, Gusto, and Salmino as well, featuring with the Chelsea squad as well. Looking forward to hopefully see him getting some minutes. And Josh Achimpong as well, very young player with a lot of potential. We've seen him play a couple of times, and when he has played, he's played pretty well. This for me, the defense is all right. Needs a couple of additions, no doubt. We know that we've got one or two injuries. Fofana's obviously out, injured as well. That's why he's not in the squad. But yeah, for me, I'd like to see a bit of cover for Cucurella on that left side, and I'd also like to see an additional centre back as well. If I had to pick, I'd probably pick Hato from Ajax, Joral Hato. And Mark Gurhey from Crystal Palace, I think, would be two good additions. So let me know if you agree or disagree with them. I think the defense is okay. Needs to be improved, but it's okay. The midfield is where we're looking great. Enzo Fernandez, Asugo starting in this squad, as well as Santos returning from his loan. Dewsbury Hall still maintaining a place with Caicedo and Lavia. And this is by far the strongest area of our team. By no doubt, should anyone dispute that we have one of the best midfields in the Premier League. We have some of the best midfielders, and we have great depth as well. Really, really happy with the variety as well that we see in there. We've obviously got extra rotation in case we have injuries with Dewsbury Hall. He'll end up playing in the small cup games. He's never going to start ahead of anyone else in that selection. Defensively, you've got a lot of quality in there with obviously Moises Caicedo, Lavia, Osugu as well, and we know that Santos can do a little bit of work in that department. You've got creativity with Fernandez. Santos again can help in that department, and Caicedo brings a little bit of everything, doesn't he? So I mean, it's hard to argue against that midfield. Really, really good selection there. And then on top, we've obviously got Neto, Delap, the new signing from Ipswich, Palmer, Madueke, Jackson. No idea why Nkunku's on the tour, but there you go. George and Mark Gear as well. So that's another area that for me needs to be upgraded. Obviously, Sancho's no longer with us. We could have seen Jamie Gittins joining us, but that deal hasn't been agreed. So for me, it's a bit like the defense. It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. But the goalkeeping department is what I'm really disappointed about in all. So that's what we have at the moment in terms of our squad. Is it capable of winning the Club World Cup? I don't think it is. But is it capable of getting into the last 16 and potentially even the quarters as well? I think there's a good chance. I think we can probably get to the quarterfinals, and I think that would be a good run for a young team. That would be a realistic run. You know, all of this stuff saying Chelsea can win the Club World Cup. Bowley's talking about the prize money. It's like, I mean, I respect the idea that we're talking about it. You got to speak some things into existence. Manifestation's real, but yeah, I'm just not seeing enough quality. This is what I think Maresca's going to be doing. Okay, this is what I think Maresca's going to be doing. I think that he'll probably start off with Robert Sanchez in goal, although I would personally change that and put Mike Penders in. I think we'll have Cucurella, Colwell, and Toss in. Maybe Chalobah can slot in, but for me, Tosin and Chalobah, it's a pretty good competition as it stands. James on the right, probably inverting if anything is if that trend continues, and then we're going to have Fernandez and Caicedo in the midfield. Now, there's a really good conversation to be had about where Lavia fits into this, and if Lavia does come into the side, does Caicedo then go into Reece James's position and invert like he does? Because we know that Caicedo's a midfielder anyway, so if he was to invert, he'd basically just be in his natural position. So that's one way of putting Lavia into the fold. Also, we've got to talk about Andre Santos as well, because he's going to be competing with Enzo Fernandez. How do you fit him in? So I think that for the sake of knowing what works, you probably stick with what you know, at least for the initial matches, unless Maresca wants to experiment. Palmer in the 10, don't think he'll change that. Neto on the left, Madueke on the right, with the lap up top. So I'll be looking forward to seeing Neto whipping some crosses and how the lap actually reacts to it. Notice how I haven't got Nicholas Jackson in the squad, because I don't think he's our best striker. I think the lap's a better striker than Nicholas Jackson. I think the two are very evenly matched in a lot of ways. But one thing that Delap's never obviously been able to compete with in terms of Jackson is the amount of chances that are created for him. So with more chances coming his way, can Delap have a better conversion, a bigger output of goals? We'll have to wait and see. Now, a couple of things that we could potentially do. I mean, this is another sort of rough lineup that I've made. Penders in goal, Cucurella, Colwell and Tosin. Now, I've got James in there, but to be honest with you, if we've got Lavia, then you probably put Caicedo inverting. That's what we've seen in the past. And this is maybe another way that we can squeeze Fernandez and Santos into the same side by playing Fernandez in the 10, which, to be honest with you, he's been creeping into that position a lot more under Maresca and doing pretty well, and putting Palmer on the right, which is what a lot of fans have wanted to see. So maybe we could see some experimentation there. Jackson on the left as a winger. That is something that I would be willing to see. And I think that, to be honest, he could probably do it. I would be a little bit concerned about his crossing ability, but his ability to run at defenders, he can obviously hold on to the ball, make runs in behind and cause problems. I think it's worth testing it out, because the one or two times that we've seen Jackson play in that position, he's done a good job. So those are a couple of starting 11s. I think the first one's probably more likely to happen. But yeah, I think in terms of pure strength, you probably agree with the first one. It's you could argue that maybe you could squeeze Santos in there or Lavia, but we've got a lot of players to choose from, which isn't a bad thing, is it? Always better to have too many than not enough, as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, you want to have the right players as well. And it is a shame that there are a few players who can't be with us, like Fofana, like Chukwuemeka as well. I mean, I don't know if he'll be a part of our plans. It seems like we're just actively trying to sell him, as well as Petrovic now, among a couple of others. But yeah, I think that this Chelsea squad actually has a little bit to offer in the competition. And although a lot of fans, including myself, are disappointed that we haven't wrapped up a couple of extra deals like Gittins and Manyan, I think that we can all agree that we still have a decent squad. It just needs a bit of refinement, especially in terms of, I mean, in terms of the goalkeeping department, you just need more quality. But I mean, now's not the time to talk about that. I'll go on forever. The defenders as well, maybe another winger and even another striker, and everyone would be pretty happy. So we'll see what happens. Those are the lineups that I think, especially the first one, that's probably the best lineup Chelsea have to offer. The second one gives you an alternative in terms of being able to squeeze a few other players in there. But let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. And yeah, all the best, guys.